Okay, welcome to the desert. I'm out here LARPing with this perfect full moon so that I can get some cool nod shots. Keep in mind, this is great weather for LARPing, but not great weather for actually using nods where your enemy can see you without nods. But that's beside the point. We're here to talk about the $16 encrypted digital radio. Now, I have access to some frequencies that are legal because they're associated with an LLC, but so keep in mind there are legal ways to do this, but if you decide to do this any kind of illegal way, I'm not responsible for that. I'm not your fucking dad. Act accordingly. So, here you have the $16 Coachy radio and the $35 Coachy radio. I hate to shill for these nonstop. I get no money for shilling these radios. I've had to buy all these radios, so it's not like I'm doing myself any favors here. But I just think that everyone should just hear me out on this. I know it's not popular to say, hey, this radio, this $16, this $35 radio is good. As your Motorola, whatever. I get it. But if you're like me, alone out here LARPing because your buddies just don't fucking get it, this could be a possible solution for you. So, you have a buddy who thinks it's cool and sexy to have comms, but he doesn't really get it, and you want to kind of bring him into the fold. This could be the way to do it. So you have these radios. They come like this, right? This is not very tactical. They have all these ridiculous fucking lights blinking on the antenna. The screen itself is like a those gas LEDs in there. They're kind of bright. I kind of tried to, again, excuse all of my low effort attempts to make this shit tactical, but this is not the equipment I actually use. This is the equipment that I'm just trying to demo to you guys as an idea of what you could possibly do to get your friends into this stuff. Anyways, so I kind of tacked this one out with a rattle can job. I put some heat shrink over this light. I didn't do a good job. Obviously, should have just rattle canned it. And then I covered the screen up with this little piece of 100-mile-an-hour tape and piece of cardboard, whatever. So this is the tactical version of this, but they are both DMR radios. They are both encrypted, and they all talk together with these other digital radios. So let's talk about that. In case you don't believe me, here's a radio check with these radios on the same encrypted channel that they all have access to. This is DT radio test. Okay, so you see that worked. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn the encryption off here. It's pretty easy to do as soon as I remember how to do it. There you go. Go down to settings, radio settings, and encrypt, and shut it off. Okay, cool. Now listen to this. You're going to hear these radios hearing the unencrypted, and it sounds kind of like gibberish. Hopefully you could hear that because the wind is bad. But yeah. Okay, so you see that the encryption actually does flipping work on this little $16 POS radio. Unbelievable. Then you take it a step further, and you can get these, U94 PTT buttons on Amazon, eBay, AliExpress, or whatever. And they're not great. They're not great, but they do work. And there are ways to. Some of them are for military. Some of them are civilian, like the Peltor pinout. However, there's ways to change that, and in a future video I'm actually going to show you how to not only change this to a military version, but also put a little amplification circuit in there. So they're actually pretty decent. And instead of paying like $150 for the real deal, you could just buy 20 of these, and if you break one, throw it the fuck away and buy another one. That's always an option, and hand them out to your buddies. So this is actually for a Motorola Talkabout. It's a little 2.5 millimeter Talkabout jack, and I got this hooked up to one of those super cool 1980s throat mics. So let's just do a quick test on that. So this is a test with the throat mic. Test with the throat mic, and there you go. So for the $16 for the throat mic and the $16 for the actual radio, you're actually off to the races. And say your buddy, he just doesn't get it. He doesn't want to invest in a radio, and you have a $500, Motorola R6 or whatever the fuck the newest one is. It's no good to you to have that radio and to have all those skills if you're not going to have anybody to flip and talk to. So if you had nothing and you just wanted to get guys into radio, you can actually buy these yourself. Buy 4 of these, program them. You have a decent digital radio that can interface with these or talk to these, and hand these out to your buddies. Get them to realize, hey, this is what's possible, but you guys are fucking around and not getting it. But also, if you don't have the means to buy a Motorola or a Hytera or any of these top dollar DMR radios with AES 256 encryption or whatever, then this might be an option for you. I've been on airfield assessments all over the fucking world, and I could tell you, I have the pictures to show it. There's whole air forces that use Baofangs as their primary communication. Not even kidding, it's a thing. So I always kind of get aggravated when people kind of gear shame. I get it. You want people to buy the best gear possible to have the best, possible chance of surviving whatever may happen. However, what's the likelihood that it will happen? And what's more important, having the skills and the knowledge to know when to employ radios and what their capabilities are, or having just $100 million top tier item that you're the only one that has and your friends don't have, or that now you spent all your money on that and you have no way to maintain it. Like, the initial cost is one thing, but things break, antennas break, PTTs break, the housings break. I've had the best radios in the world at my disposal, and radios, as much as I hate to admit this because I am a radio fucking nerd, radios are gonna fail you. They always do. And when things go loud, radios aren't that important. It's important when you're doing recon. It's important when you're doing in garrison stuff that there's nothing crazy going on. But as soon as things go loud, radios stop working at the most inopportune times. Even the best radios in the United States military, in whatever SWAT department you work for, it's just a thing. What do you guys think? Am I fucking crazy? Or is this viable for some people? Let me know in the comments. Cheers.